You're listening to That's a Parent, a podcast about parenting and marriage. And now your hosts, Tanya and Sean.
Welcome back to That's a Parent. My name is Sean, and as always, I'm joined here by my lovely wife, Tanya. And what are we going to be talking about in today's podcast, Tanya?
So today we are going to be discussing dealing with your children in the summer and almost like a summertime check-in to see, maybe give you guys some ideas on things you can do with your children in the summer and just talk about the antics that you have to deal with now that your kids are home from school.
Tons of antics, yes.
Tons. Yeah, whether you're a working mom and, you know, you're still working in the summer if you don't have the summers off, or you're home with your children in the summer, you still need to figure out what you're going to do with your children for at least 8 hours plus a day during the daytime.
Sometimes it's dads, too.
Sometimes dads. Yep. Sometimes dads that are in charge of taking care of the children in the summer. And it's pretty hard to find something for them to do and combat the I'm bored syndrome, which we have been hearing nonstop since they have been home from school. And so a little bit of our background, what our situation is for the summer is Sean is still working full-time in the summer, and I am basically working at every second that I possibly can. I do work from home. However, it's a challenge when I'm almost a full-time taxi cab driver for the kids all summer long. And we are lucky enough that we found an amazing summer park program for our kids. So they are there for 7 weeks, Monday through Friday, from 9 to 1, which is pretty awesome. However, you know, I still am taxiing them to drive them to camp, drop them off. By the time I get home and get settled, it seems like the time just flies by in a second, and then I have to drive back and pick them up and then figure out how to keep them occupied for the afternoon so that I can try to get some more work done. So
Yeah.
It's pretty rough. And now that they are home with each other most of the time, we are hearing nonstop fighting all the time. So I don't know if anybody else is dealing with that, but probably one of the best parts about going back to school at the end of the summer is to give them each a break from each other, because let me tell you, it gets pretty rough.
Yeah, and the park program is really a saving grace for them because they get to, first of all, they're away from electronics. They're outside playing with kids their age, and you know, they get to just be outdoors and just kind of, to play games and sports. And
play activities. They do field trips there. So sometimes they go roller skating or they go to the movies one day. They go bowling. So they get to get out and do some different activities, and they have some cool things and activities going on at the camp and animals that come visit. So it is also educational and gets them out and moving so that when they do come home in the afternoon, if I do have to pop in a movie or let them play some video games for an hour or two, I don't feel so guilty because they had that whole time at summer camp for 4 hours to really get their energies out.
They got their energy out.
Yeah. So we are finding, though, that we even personally need to rework a little bit of our system because they pretty much cannot handle being away from electronics when they're home. It's been nonstop, and it's almost always a battle to keep them away from screens for a little bit. And they actually just got punished for fighting with each other the other day. And it literally lasted an hour and a half. I only told them they had to be away from screens and electronics, all iPhones, tablets, cell phone, or iPads, tablets, TV for 2 hours, and it was an hour and a half, and they cracked. And the whole time was, I'm bored, I don't know what to do, I'm bored, I need to watch the tablet, I need to turn on the TV, and it's really hard to keep them occupied and have them doing other things. So we're not perfect, and we don't have the summer schedule figured out either, and we definitely need to try to get them, active a little more in the afternoons even, and give them some more tasks and things that we would like them to do. So I actually just searched a few different summer checklists and wanted to kind of give you guys some of these ideas. And it's also a refresher for us because we're going to be stepping it up a little bit in the summer and trying to do some more things. And I think that this will be helpful for you. And we can also post this to our Facebook page and our Facebook community page. And then maybe you guys can check these out and maybe have some ideas for yourselves.
And give us some feedback too. Let us know what's working, what isn't, because I'm sure other people would be interested to know, what seems to be working and what isn't.
Yes, definitely. So there are a few. I'm going to start with the one that's the summer activity list. And it says it's a solution to your kids' boredom. This is the screen time checklist. Kids have to have a good attitude and complete all of these tasks, and then they will have earned your daily screen time. So if you have them do these tasks first and then give them screen time as the reward, then hopefully it works. And we will test this theory.
Well, if their age is like 11 to 13, if they have to have a good attitude, then let's just rule out screen time because they're not going to get it.
Yeah,
right?
That may not even happen.
It's not possible, right?
I'm not really sure that our 11-year-old could complete all these with a good attitude. So I don't know. I'm going to read these, and Sean, you give me your feedback, and you see if you think that our 11-year-old maybe could accomplish this.
Okay.
Okay.
I like checklists.
Okay. So it starts in the morning. Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope, not happening.
We didn't even start yet.
Oh, sorry.
That's just the topic. That's not even the task. The first task is eat breakfast. That's probably doable.
Without being reminded that you should?
Or I guess just eat it is fine. So I think that's probably an easy.
Then maybe that's a win.
Get dressed. That's probably an easy checklist, we hope. Brush teeth. So that should be hopefully achievable.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Brush your hair. So, again, that...
More applies to girls.
Yeah, or, fix your hair. I mean, our son's hair is always all over the place if he doesn't.
Well, he fixes his hair in like seconds with his hands.
So that's easy. This one is probably not as accomplishable. Make your bed. So we have somewhat of a battle with our son because he has bunk beds and
it's like a loft bed, so any kind of
his top bunk is where he sleeps.
To it is a little tricky.
Yeah, we tried having him put a fitted sheet on, and he tried for an hour and could not get it on.
I don't think he tried for an hour. I think he tried for 30 seconds and gave up.
Maybe.
As most tasks.
Okay. So that whole section I think is probably pretty much doable. The next part, take care of the house. That's probably
That's very general. Take care of it? Like how?
Okay, that's the topic. That's the main heading. These are the tasks. Empty the dishwasher. Put dirty dishes in dishwasher, which is one of our son's chores anyway.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well with that one.
So that one might be okay. Wipe down the counters, which that's easy.
That is easy.
That's easy.
That's something we could give Gianna to do, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our 7-year-old could handle that.
Something a 7-year-old can handle.
This one is actually pretty important, and I really think that this checklist is awesome because the next one is put dirty clothes in hamper. Because pretty much every time I step foot in my son's room, there's his clothes all over the place. So, or in the bathroom, or, just in front of the laundry room. It's like he just drops his clothes and doesn't even use a hamper anymore.
If I had $1 for every one of my son's socks I found laying in a random location, I wouldn't need to do... I could retire early.
And downstairs, and then the dog's wandering around with socks in his mouth, so that's constant. The next one, put clean clothes away, which my son does that. My 7-year-old, I don't really trust her so much with the laundry yet, but
she's almost ready to start.
She's probably close.
Maybe folding laundry.
Yeah, she's probably close to being able to do that.
We could attempt it.
The next one, pick up and put away your toys. Which, I mean, basically both of our kids don't even play with toys anymore much. Our 7-year-old does sometimes. Our 11-year-old is like, no toys interest him anymore. He's beyond that.
Well, the setup we have now, like, I think when Gianna wants to play with toys, she'll go into the bonus room where we have just like wall-to-wall toys, but we don't use that room like hardly ever, so that's kind
It's
of
like a
her
playroom.
domain.
It's a playroom. So
yeah, like she plays with stuff and it all lays out, and then she just comes back to it later and plays with it some more. Like, so
It's fine,
cleanup
yeah.
almost isn't really
that's not really
required there.
for us. That's not something that is a problem really right now. But I'm sure if you have younger children, like 3, 4, 5-year-olds, I'm sure, you're probably dealing with constantly trying to have your children clean up after themselves, because if they're anything like our kids were, they constantly just get out a new thing, just new bins, new toys, new things to play with, and without putting the old stuff away, and it's a constant battle.
Yeah,
so
I remember when they were younger.
We remember that.
Yeah, we used to have to say, no, you can't get this out until you put this away.
So that's one. So the next thing is pick up your bathroom. So I guess like clean up in your bathroom. Again, that should be pretty quick and easy. And then the next heading here, and these are all for the morning. So these are all ideally supposed to happen in the morning. I assume if your kids are staying home all day, before you go out and do things for the day, it's best to try to get these things done right away. With us going to camp.
This is like if your kids are early risers, though.
Ours are
and
not.
Like only half of ours are. So.
Yeah, well, the next one is build your spirit. Do your daily devotional, read your Bible. So that's the 2 tasks there. And the other one is talk to God, pray for your family and friends. So
if you're religious.
If you are religious, that is something you could add in there. And then the whole next section is daily. So this can be at any point during the day, I assume. So the first one is build your body. Play outside for at least 1 hour, which I think is a pretty good thing to do every day, as long as it's a nice day out.
It's good for them because it's just enough time that they're they're getting some sun exposure. Some vitamin D is good for you. It's good for the immune system. But any more than an hour and you're risking dehydration and sunburn and whatever else. But
yep. So this does give you some suggestions. So like if you're going to print this out, I think that I'm going to print this out and put it somewhere where my kids can see it, make one for each of them, and maybe laminate it and give them like a dry erase marker so that they can check off what they're doing. This gives them some ideas for what to do to play outside. They could swim, ride your bike, play tag, draw on the sidewalk, make your own obstacle course, build a fort, or have a race. So it gives you some ideas for things to do. The next one is build your brain. So I like how this kind of takes care of, your spirit, your body, your brain. It really kind of comes full circle and gives something that, is good for every part of them. Do something creative. So that would be write a story, draw a picture, make up a song, plan a talent show, throw a dance party. So, I don't know. I feel like this one might be a little harder for our son because he's not super artistic. However, creative could even be like play guitar. He plays guitar, so we could say, come down and play guitar for 20 or 30 minutes, at least that's something.
Yeah, if you're
that he could do.
If you're a creative family like we are, like I failed to mention this like in our earlier introduction, but like I come from a music background. My father played music. He taught me how. We still play out music together in like local clubs. So we're a very musical family and we enjoy it a lot. And my son has definitely caught on to that interest. So he actually goes to a school for the arts. And he's learning guitar and vocals there. So yeah, for creative families, it's good to promote that. It's good to
nurture that.
Yeah, it's good to nurture
Yeah.
that interest because for creative people that don't create, like they stop creating, it's not very healthy for that type of personality. So I definitely recommend if you come from a musical family or an artistic family, definitely you want to promote that and keep that active because it is very healthy.
The next thing on Build Your Brain, under Build Your Brain, is read a book, at least one chapter or 20 minutes. So that will be easy for our daughter who loves to read, but our son, that would be probably a huge battle.
Yeah,
But
he's not a reader.
He's not a reader at all, and it's really hard for me to sympathize with that because I love reading. And I also have another checklist that I'm going to also post, and it's called Summer Reading Challenge, which is kind of neat, and maybe that may be a way to get him, reading something, because it's, read by a flashlight, read a book in a funny accent, read a comic book, read a book as a family, read under a tree, read in a blanket fort, read a book to a pet, read a book with a color in the title, read at breakfast, read a book about a city far away, read a book of poems, read to a sibling, read a funny book. So there's a couple different ideas on there that could be in addition to your reading challenge for your kids. And if your kids like reading, it shouldn't be a problem to read for 20 minutes. I don't think that's very long at all.
No, that'll go quick.
But we even were trying to do that with our son during the school year and just read for 20 minutes. So it was a 30-minute meltdown for just trying to get him to read for 20 minutes. So we were spending more time melting down about it, and he could have just been done. So, if anybody else has any suggestions out there, we would like some suggestions too on how to get a child who's 11, an 11-year-old boy who does not like to read anything. And we've tried, books that might be more of interest to him, Captain Underpants books, and all kinds of other books that may, really interest him, and he just doesn't want to read.
I think there's more to it with him. Like, I think there's I think it's difficult for him to read. It's not so much that he doesn't like it. I think it's difficult for him to read.
It's the focusing. He just can't.
Well, I
focus on.
I think there's more to it. Like where Gianna has the audio processing, I think he has more the visual processing. Where if he's staring at text on a page for a long time,
it's just hard.
He loses his place a lot, and it's just a struggle to read, smoothly. It's not dyslexia. It's just, it's the processing of the visual data that's in print.
Maybe we'll try a little more reading together. I even would be interested in reading whatever he's reading, and I can say, look, like, we'll both read the same book. You read it and I'll read it, and then we'll talk about it. He's old enough to read chapter books and, longer books. Maybe he could start reading
that may be helpful, like
Harry Potter books or something.
Let him read out loud, and then give him a break, and then you read to him out loud. Because then it's shorter bursts like that might be, more.
It might be better.
Yeah, just better for him.
All right. Well, enough about our reading problems here. So then the next section here is build up someone else. So the first one is do something helpful for a family member, which I really like, because that can be anything that they choose that they can do to be helpful. So I would definitely recommend that. I like that one a lot. The next one is say something nice to encourage your sibling or parent. And that's another one because of the fighting that we had talked about earlier with our kids, with each other. This would be perfect to get them to do something nice, even if they, you force them to say something nice to their sibling every day. That'd be great. So that's that checklist. And there's some other checklists that have some things that like we could almost customize and add into there. This other one has learn something, do 3 pages in your workbook. That's something that I think that our daughter could really benefit from to stay engaged in schoolwork. One thing that I had read at some point was if you do not read all summer and you don't do really any summer work or math facts or anything like that, all summer long, you do nothing school related or reading, you actually backtrack 3 months in school time from your learning. So, instead of ending in June, you're backtracking to March in schooling because you've lost all of that over the summer.
Wow.
If you do read and you do your workbooks and you practice math facts over the summer, you actually advance a month, is what I heard. So you kind of move forward in your retention in your mind. So definitely that's something to keep in mind, because if you don't use it, you're going to lose it, like they say.
That's the saying, yep.
That's the saying. So it's great to continue that during the year, during the summer. And let's see what else is on this list. Parents' choice. I kind of like that. We could just pick whatever you want. Parents' choice could be anything that you want them to do extra for the day.
Back massages.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
If it's our choice.
True. Help with something, pick up something. These are all somethings. This checklist is somethings. Read something. And then we have a summer bucket list for kids. This is more interactive, things that you can do with your children. The other checklist is more, the summer activity list is more for what your kids should accomplish in a day on their own, which is great for those working moms or working from home moms or dads who need something for their kids to do while they're working. You can say, look, work on completing your checklist. And then if they complete that checklist, then at the end they get their screen time for the day. This summer bucket list is a little more hands-on for parents to get involved with their kids. So I'm going to read you this one. This has 19 items. First one, host a lemonade stand. Sean, have you ever hosted a lemonade stand before?
I have not, but I will tell you that these days you need a proper permit to host a lemonade stand, or the popo will be,
No, not for
giving you a ride.
I don't know. I love the idea.
You laugh, but I'm serious. There's been many a lemonade stand shut down these days because of not having... Yes, I'm serious.
Okay.
Everything's illegal now.
All right. Well, we're in a back kind of neighborhood, so I love the idea of hosting a lemonade stand, and I've never even done one when I was a child, and it would be something that I think would be fun.
Yeah,
but,
it depends on where you are.
I don't think we would have much.
Here.
It would be fine, but I don't think we have much traffic. We have like one car pass us by every 2 hours.
Yeah, the only traffic we have is people that live in our neighborhood, so...
Yeah, so the kids would be standing out there for a pretty long time in the heat.
And it'd make $1.25.
Yeah, I can't imagine they would really enjoy that a whole lot.
Yeah, but it's
However,
the fun of it.
It's fun. I think it would be fun.
They'd be happy for that $1.25.
Yes, and if you're in an area where you live that you have more traffic, it's definitely, I think, a good idea. I think that you could really have a fun day doing that with your kids. So that's the first one. The second one, plant some flowers. That's easy enough.
Yeah.
That's something you can have your kids help with. You can do, even if it's, yucky outside, bring in some pots and some potting soil and put out a tablecloth on the floor and just do some planting in your house. It'd be something that you can do with your kids. Number 3 is pick berries. So I assume maybe going strawberry picking if you have a strawberry field around you. I think that's only in June around here in Pennsylvania. If you live elsewhere, I'm sure there's other times of year that's good for that. Number 4 is a day at the beach, which doesn't everybody love that? Number 5, have a yard sale. I don't really know how that's really for kids, but I guess they could get involved selling their toys and choosing things to sell. Maybe have their own little section of stuff that they're selling.
I did that when I was little.
Yeah, I think I probably did too. So that's number 5. Number 6, go for a hike. That doesn't really appeal to me at all.
That's because you don't like bugs or nature.
I don't like bugs. I don't like the outdoors. I don't like walking up a hill.
I love being outside. I'm surprised I don't go on hikes. I guess because I don't know many people that would go.
You could take our kids.
I'd go by myself.
You could take our kids. Or at least our 11-year-old could take.
They'd be complaining 5 minutes into it that they don't have a screen or air conditioning.
Okay, so number 7, run in the sprinklers. So that's easy. We already did that once this year. Number 8, attend a summer festival. I suppose it could be a carnival or a fair. I guess
Sure.
that could be a festival. 9, pitch a tent in the backyard. I think you should do that, Sean. I think that's on your bucket list with the kids. I'll stay in the house. I'll sleep in bed.
Well, at this point, we'll probably have to wait until like fall when it's a little cooler, because even at night it's like hot and humid,
and there's 1,000 bugs.
Yeah, that's not going to be comfortable at all.
Okay, number 10, have an ice cream social. Like,
is that like a lemonade stand, but just outside? Like,
well, it'd be melted in seconds, but like an ice cream social.
It's like when you invite people over for free ice cream.
I feel like that's
outside.
like an elderly gathering kind of thing. Like, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know how.
It's just it's like an old-fashioned
ice cream
gathering
social
for dessert.
Okay, so I guess just have an ice cream party at your house. Number 11, make popsicles. Like, make your own. I made my own when I was a kid. Like, Kool-Aid poured in little molds, and then you stick popsicle sticks
Yeah, but
in them.
freeze pops are like mad cheap. You could just buy them for like $1, and then you don't have to make them.
Well, then you wouldn't complete this summer bucket list then.
Okay, well, so sad.
So sad. Okay, number 12, make s'mores. Everybody should do that. And do you want to share your s'mores hack?
Oh, yeah. If you're going to make s'mores, you got to get the, and this is the only time I'll like name drop a brand without getting sponsored or anything, but those, are they the Keebler
fudge stripe
cookies? Yeah, if you get those and you just roast a marshmallow and slap it in one of those, you don't need chocolate. You don't need
slap it.
Just slap it in there. You don't need chocolate. You don't need graham crackers. You're good to go. It's an instant s'more. It's less messy, I think, and it's delicious that way. So if you haven't tried that yet, you're gonna wanna give that a shot, because it's like you're cutting out like 2 major steps.
It's less messy and easier for the kids. So that's that one. Number 13, soapy water play.
What? That's called a bath. That's called a bath.
But it's on here as soapy water play. So I was thinking maybe like the trampoline. We have a big trampoline in our backyard with like the netting around it. Just like throw a bunch of... Well, that could be dangerous, actually.
Yeah,
it could be
that's
slippery.
Slip and fall.
Okay.
Risk.
Well, what about putting
time.
soapy water on the slip and slide or something? I don't know.
I think it's more like those kiddie pools. You could just
put a bunch of bubbles in it and sponges.
Then you can play with the bubbles.
And maybe sponges, and then they can just play with it and squish the sponges. You might as well just have them wash your car then. Right?
Hey kids, while you're playing with I don't think bubble bath is probably the best car wash detergent, but
I don't know.
While you're playing with those bubbles, slap some on the car, and
that would be
here's
great.
Some wax too.
I think wash your car should be on this list, because why can't they just go out and wash your cars for you? That would be great.
It? Yeah.
All right. Here's number 14. Make peach pie.
What? Why specifically peach? What if you prefer
make
apple or
peach pie?
Or with rhubarb?
I feel like who even talks
Key
about
lime?
peach pie? Like,
blueberry?
when you think
Pumpkin.
of making a pie in the summer, I think of like apples. I guess that's maybe September, like apple picking. But wouldn't you think you'd cut up apples, make an apple pie?
Apple pie is
But like,
year-round.
who just says make peach pie? I don't even...
Yeah, somebody's very biased. Whoever made this list is extremely biased.
Okay, so the next one is watch fireworks.
They own a peach farm, guaranteed.
I know somebody that owns a peach farm.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I do actually. Okay, the next one is watch fireworks. So I guess if you got to the 4th of July already, like we have, then you probably can just cross that right off right away, because that's done.
If they got to it?
I mean, if you...
I'm just confused by the way you said that, because like we're all on the same timeline here, I think.
Yes.
You know, unless they're in
unless you're in Australia.
Or a completely
Wait, is Australia the same
parallel
day?
dimension universe.
No, Australia would be the same day as us, but like 24-hour difference.
Yeah,
maybe.
it's just like a day.
Okay. All right. So
day
that's
off.
that one. Watch fireworks. The next one sounds also not so exciting for kids, but it's on here. Visit a farmer's market.
Okay, because shopping for produce is exhilarating. I can hardly contain my excitement.
Well, I don't know why really that's on there, but maybe it's to
They
give
recommending
kids...
you taking kids to a farmer's market? Well, yeah.
Yes, this is summer bucket list for kids.
I guess to see where food comes from.
Yeah, give them an appreciation
apart from
that...
the farm itself.
No, give them an appreciation that, like, you don't just go for produce at the grocery store. There's actually farmers that farm it and sell it, and they have to take it to farmers markets, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess that's why that's on here.
I don't know.
17. Have a play date at the park. Although they forgot the A in the checklist, so it's have a play date the park.
The park.
Anyway, I may have to edit this then, I guess, before I post this. So,
Yeah.
have a play date at the park. That's fun and easy. And if you have, parents that have similar age kids, make a play date and go to the park. That's pretty easy. The next one, number 18, paint with water. I guess maybe in the driveway. I don't know. I guess like put a big bucket of water and a bunch of paintbrushes out and let them paint with water in the driveway or on the concrete until it dries.
I've never heard of that.
I don't know.
That's different.
It says paint with water. And the next one, watch a movie outdoors, which is cool, but isn't that only really possible if you have one of those like
a projector,
projectors and
yeah.
like blow up screens, which is awesome, but if you don't have that, you can't complete this list.
That's not a very expensive thing to acquire anymore. Actually, they have those mini projectors and they have the inflatable screens. Yeah, we don't have anything like that, but we also really enjoy our air conditioning when we're watching a movie and surround sound. So
I mean, I guess if you have a porch or somewhere, you could just
biased.
plug in a TV out back and then just watch a movie outdoors at night. But then there's bugs and you just have to deal with it.
Yeah, like why? And my question is why? Why would you move a TV outside?
Complete the summer bucket list.
Oh, right. Have to complete the list.
Yeah, that's why. So
Okay.
that's the end of that one. There's one other one, 30 days of summer, do one a day. Do we have time for that list or are we at our time?
Yeah, we're over time, kind of.
Okay. So there is another list that's called 30 days of summer, do one a day. So that's another thing that has some more ideas. We can also add that to our Facebook page and post that there. So if you like us on Facebook, we are That's a Parent on Facebook. And our website is that'saparentpodcast.com. You can check out those places. I'll post these to both of those places. And you can
You can find more ideas there.
yeah, hop on, find more ideas. And you can print out these lists for your own children, laminate them, put a dry erase marker and start checking them off. And you only have another 2 months until summer's over, so so I would get started, right?
Yeah, get on that.
Yep. All right, so if you guys have any other suggestions or any other recommendations for checklists or activities to do with your children in the summer, please share them with us. We always love hearing your ideas. You can comment on our Facebook page. You can join us at That's a Parent Community on Facebook as well and share your ideas there. And we will see you over there. So have a great rest of your summer and talk to you next time.
Enjoy your summer. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to That's a Parent. Visit us at that'saparentpodcast.com. Also on patreon.com/that'saparent.